Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Cait and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
Hi, I'm Cait.
And I'm Court. Welcome to Cait and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Readers.
This is a podcast for lovers of romance and romantasy novels who want to go on a deep dive into their favorite genre. Honest discussions and salacious details, giving romance books the respect they deserve. We are two friends, actors, moms, and romance readers who like a bit of spice and everything nice in their books.
As we like to say, you don't need spice for a book to be good. Well, you don't need running shoes to run, but they sure do help.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, we're back and it's 2026.
Yay. I can't believe it.
Yeah. It feels like a long break.
Yes, it feels like long and not long at all because it's that time. Oh, I got a new mic, so you might see it because I'm trying to make my sound a little crisper than previous episodes, and I'm playing with that today. Yes.
I'm playing with my mic today. Oh no, you did something with your mic and we lost your sound.
I muted it. There's a mute button. I guess
That's
I should
about
not play with it. How about that?
Don't play with it.
I will find a way to just have it close by and not touch it. This is going to be a disaster. I can
That's
already
okay.
feel
I can
it.
edit that
Okay.
part out.
No, let everyone know that I don't know how to use a microphone. It's okay.
It's all right. I was kind of cursing out my microphone before we started today just because it's very fancy. I dare not touch it because things levels are looking good. And if I mess with it at all, I'm so fucked.
But I've been watching so many podcasts and they always have their mic and they're just like so casually like hanging out and holding it and using it. I'm like, how do you guys do that? Clearly not the way I'm doing it because I've already failed. But
also, like, I kind of like that we don't do that. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I kind of like, I'm like, we're hanging out in our book nook. Like, this is like my reading chair. You are seeing me in my actual reading chair right now. You know, I have a badass ring light in front of me, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's a mic here, but like, it's not part of it. Also, mostly because I'm terrified of it. If I touch it, all technology will implode. Okay, so this is actually quite funny. So Court and I were messaging each other the other day, and I was trying to send her a voice message.
Yes.
I still don't really know how to send voice messages, listen to voice messages. So then I hit the thing. I think I'm sending a voice message. I send a long voice note. So it was like a dictated
to text. Yes. Dictate to text. Yes.
And it was way too rambly. Like, it shouldn't have been that. I thought I was doing a voice note. And then I like messed up again, being like, oh my gosh, I thought I was doing this. I sent another wrong thing. I finally got it right. And by the end, I was just like, I'd be better with carrier pigeons.
I was
somebody give me a rotary phone.
Hard. No. What Cait has not told you. So she sent me a voicemail saying, I have big news, things I want to tell you. I don't know how to use voice message. So I'm sending you a voicemail. But then her voicemail cut out, as voicemails do, because they only give you 30 seconds or something of her voicemail. So then I texted her and I'm like, it cut out. And then I got back like, okay, so is this how you, okay, I'm doing it. That's the text I got. And then I got a big long text of her that's dictating. And then after the long text it just takes, let's see if you guys can hear this. Let's see.
I just dictated a text and I thought I was doing like a voice note thing. I don't know how to use my phone.
And then that's when it ended. So I never actually got the information from her voice.
No, the information
all
never
we got
made
to
it.
the point is that she needs carrier pigeons.
I do.
That's what the resounding answer was.
It's so sad. I've just like, I've been committed to analog for so long that I've really shot myself in the foot now that we're in 2026. Like, the whole world is beyond me and I just want to hide in the library with a book.
It's literally like, if I show you once, you'll just know how to do it. It's
Yeah.
genuinely not that hard. It's just
know.
knowing which button to hit because it doesn't look like the right thing. There's
No.
a microphone that looks like that should be your voice recording, but it's not that. That is your dictate to text as you figure it out.
As I
It's
figured
just
out.
this like weird red lines that I guess is an image of like sound waves almost
Yeah.
in like the corner of your texting box. And if you click that, you're recording. But then it's scary because as soon as you click it, it's like recording. You're like, I'm not ready. Wait, okay, how do I get ready? And then it deletes and then it's like send. You're like, no, it is a little like heart palpitations to get used
pressure.
to it. It's a lot of pressure to get a good voice note. But then once you can do it, then it's just like super chill, easy. You can
Yeah.
practice on sending me texts. That's fine. We'll just send voice notes.
Honestly. But then whenever you send me a voice note, I'm like, how do I listen to this now?
Right? And it's awkward because you have to be in the right place. Like you don't want to be that person on a bus or in a public setting that's listening to a voice note out loud. And so it's hard. I usually only do them if I'm like, I know I can't put this into words properly to explain what I'm meaning. So I need to just like ramble for a second and like explode that onto Caitlin. And so I'll send her a voice note.
Oh my God. Speaking of us rambling for a second, we've been rambling about our technological inefficiencies here for a minute now. So let's go to the place that we just want to escape to, which is the book we're talking about today.
Oh, right. We're here for a book. I completely forgot already. Right. Yes. Today's very special.
It is. I mean, for me, this is the book that this was my gateway drug book into this world.
For everyone. Into romantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a big fantasy reader anyways, like a big like classical fantasy stuff more so than like I haven't read a lot of contemporary fantasy, but but I love fantasy. I love science fiction. Like I love all sorts of made up wild things. And everyone's talking about ACOTAR for a while. When I was prepping for this episode, I looked and I was like, whoa, it came out in 2015. I didn't hear about it until like maybe 2023, maybe 2024. And then I remember hearing about it. I was like, oh, okay. And I was not reading anything like smutty or anything like that at the time at all. I knew you were reading like romance and you were kind of telling me about it. And I was like, sure, that's for you, not for me. I was totally like nose in the air looking down at all of this stuff. And then my mom had a copy at like on her bookshelf, on her TBR bookshelf that she's got going, right? And I had passed by ACOTAR like in Costco and I maybe kind of wanted to read it, but like a lot of the gals who really loved their taste in my book club, they were sort of making fun of it and being like, oh God, don't ever read, should ever read that. And then there were other gals who were like, oh, I've read it, I love it, whatever, it's silly. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be bigger and better than this book kind of thing. Like this is what I thought, but I'm also like I really like fantasy and fairies. I'm so curious. And I saw it on her TBR and I just was like, Mom, I'm going to take this. I want you to know that was August 2025.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
So this is how fast it happens. Like I sneakily read ACOTAR in August.
And 3 weeks later, we were doing a podcast.
3 weeks later, I'm like, we need to do a podcast about romance or romantasy books because everyone needs to know. Meanwhile, Court's like, I've been shouting from the mountaintops for a long time, along with
welcome.
a bunch of other people.
Caitlin's like, hold my beer. And I'm like, I've been holding it for 5 years of our friendship, telling you to come here.
I have crossed over to the dark side and I'm not ever going back.
Yes. And it's the best place to be. Welcome to the dark side. It's like the dark side in Court of Thorn and Roses, where people think it's the Under the Mountain city version, but really we are the city of Starlight. That's
exactly
what this romantasy world is.
Exactly.
If you haven't read that book, that means nothing to you. But if you have read it, you know exactly what we're talking about. So, and we're taking the new year. The reason we're also diving in, besides the fact that we just love this book, is it's a great time for anyone that hasn't jumped into romantasies. This is a great way to start. I started with Fourth Wing and then followed quickly with this series. But either way is a great foray into the romantasy world. And it's just one of the classics. This is something any romance and romantasy reader should read, usually has read, and if not, is on TBR. Like, just do it. This is your sign if you've been waiting.
Yeah.
Read A Cornerstone of Roses. ACOTAR. When you hear people talk about ACOTAR, this is what they are talking about.
Yes.
So we are going to dive in. It's like diving into a
Oh my
classic, even
God.
though it's not a classic.
It
But we did
is.
celebrate 10 years. I work in a
Yeah.
bookstore as one of my many 50 jobs that I do. And we had a huge celebration of the 10-year anniversary of this last year. With like
You must have.
stickers
Yeah.
and sales. Yeah, it was a big thing because it's a huge series. And
Yeah.
finally this year, the last book was announced and has been beated out, which means like she's storyboarded it. It hasn't been finished writing, but it's been beated out and like it's going. And everyone has been celebrating in anticipation of the last book. So we're going to go through each book with you over the next few podcasts so that you can really, if you've read it, enjoy the world again, come back with us. If you haven't read it, this is your chance to read it. And if you just want to know what the heck this is about, this is your chance to do it. We're like, I found out Gen Zs often just watch movie recap videos and don't watch the movies. But so like they know what all the movies are about. I had 2 coworkers talking about this because I was talking about a movie I watched and they're like, oh, I know that movie in detail, but I've never seen it. And I'm like, I don't understand what that means. What do you mean?
I
you
feel
know
like
in
it would
detail and you
take
haven't
just
seen it?
as long to watch a movie recap as it would to watch a movie. A book is a
Well,
little bit different because a book
it's
takes a
true.
long time to read.
It's true. And it's in your head. But anyways, that's what they're doing. So we are the book recap for those of you that aren't going to actually read it. So this book, let's dive into it. A Court of Thorn and Roses is the first one. That's why everyone calls the series ACOTAR, because they all follow this very first book. And listen, the first bok is very Beauty and the Beast-esque. Like it took me a minute.
Like,
It took
so
me a
much so.
minute to dive in.
Yeah.
Like actually, after coming off fourth, like I had to reread the first 3 chapters like a couple times before I was finally like got past chapter 4 and then really like got into the story. I was not
You know what?
instantly in it.
On that note, I don't think it starts strong. I do
It does
not
not.
think it starts
It does
strong.
not. It's a hard one to get into.
Started it and I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was right, thinking that this was totally
Agreed.
trash. And then I guess you're right. I guess it's around like maybe something like
you have to
chapter
get
4.
past the first 4 chapters to really start to get pulled in. You need her in the fairy world. You need to start seeing the odd things, the Lucian and Tamlin relationship. I literally stopped so
It just
many
like
times.
starts with her sort of hunting in the woods or like finding food for her family, right? Like that's where it opens.
Yeah,
and
it's world building.
It's world building, but it's also like it's really thin world building. Like it just doesn't feel like it didn't grab me. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't heavy duty, like deep world building, with a bunch of layers going on.
Because
so
if you know the story now, though, like that makes sense because that actually is how the human world is seen.
Exactly.
Like it all makes sense. Sarah J. Maas is a genius, but it is hard to pull you in. It does. And honestly, all her books take a minute. Like Cressida City books, those 3 you haven't read them yet. They're so good.
No.
But you need to get through the first book, like which is a hefty book. And then the last 100 pages, you're like, whoosh, and then you're in and you're diving into the next 2. But her world building are slowest. I get why she does it, but it's a lot. It's not a quick pull. It's not like you need to get in there.
No.
Slowly water your way into the cold water until it gets up to your neck. And you're like, oh, okay, that's good now. It's warmed up to my body. My body temperature is equaled out.
Yeah, I definitely just thought everybody was crazy for the first like 4 chapters. And then I was like,
yeah, me too. I was like, I'm not going to like this book.
What kept me going was like, I just want to get to the fairies fucking part. Like, I just want to know what this is all about.
You wanted
like,
the
what all this hype is about. Yeah.
To be
like,
honest, continue. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, if everybody's just like, screaming from the rafters about this and it's like being banned places and it's all over the place, I'm like, there's got to be something that happens, that's interesting. And so I'm like, I'll keep going. And well, here we are now. So
well, it's the last 100 pages. The last 100 pages of this book is what makes it what it is. It's what really launches. Once she goes under the mountain, that's what launches the true story. Like Feyre isn't that likable in the first book until you get to the second one. But but this is I haven't reread it in a while, and I just reread it, and I have to say this time, even though I know where it's going, I really got to just enjoy like I took a moment and just pictured like, what if this was just the book? Like, what if this is where it went to before she goes under the mountain? So just in the love story of her and Tamlin. And it caught me again. I had myself for a moment still being like, Team Tamlin.
I know. Well, and I mean, we don't want to spoil. We're just talking book one right now. So, book one
everyone knows,
is Team
though.
Tamlin.
We know where this, everyone's heard of Reese.
Yes, but just in case, I'd like to stay on like Team Tamlin side for this book because I think it's interesting. Because I also think it's interesting that this book is so like very early on. Once she goes into the Fey world, I'm like, oh, we are totally riffing Beauty and the Beast here.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing, Cait. Part of me is surprised that you are not Team Tamlin all the way, only because what he wants of Feyre is part of your dream. Like, he just wants her to be a princess in the castle and read and paint all day. Like, there's when you talked about your princess fantasy, I'm like, there is a part of him that just wants that.
Totally. I mean, so can you imagine how Team Tamlin I was like by the end of this book? Like, just how in I was on that. And then it's when it flips, and we'll get into it in book 2. It's when things flip in book 2.
So here's the story setup of this one.
Yes.
Here's the world. So Feyre is a human. She's hunting in the woods. She kills this oversized, large wolf that turns out to be Fey. Because her family's literally starving, and it's fallen to her to provide food and money for her family. Her father has a broken, mangled. Her mom died. Her father has a mangled, broken leg, can't do anything. So she is taken to hunting the woods to care for her sisters and her father. Kills this wolf, and then realizes after that it was a Fey. But she still goes. She sells the meat, sells the goat, gets some money from the market, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden,
can I interject though, just before that one detail when she sells it at the market is, remember the like culty people, the children of the blessed or something?
Oh yeah, but they don't even matter yet. Yeah,
no, I know, but it's a weird moment when you're first reading it and you're kind of like,
yeah, it's like slipping in world building, the children of the blessed, that like the fairy world. So you're like hinted, you don't really know what the Fey world is, but it's like being hinted at.
Yeah.
And then this like gnarly beast shows up at her door. Who killed him? Who was it? Coming back to find the killer of this wolf. It was Feyre, obviously. And he says, we have a signed treaty between humans and Fey not to kill each other. You broke the treaty. Therefore, your life debt is now owed to me, and I'm going to take you back to my world. And the sisters and dad, no one can stop him or do anything. They don't even try. They're just like, she doesn't want them hurt.
They don't even try.
They don't do anything. They're just like, oh, this sucks, Feyre. Sorry. Like,
I tell you.
Sad. They're crying, but they're just like, yeah, this makes sense. You're going to go with them.
There's 5 books, and I'm still kind of mad at them for like how they did.
They're not great. They're not great siblings, and that's a theme that happens in the story. But in this current book, they're like, okay, you're going. She goes up. He takes her on his back, binds her so that she can't leave or get off, and just like makes her sleep. Takes her through into the Fey world. She awakes in his big grand. It's not really a castle though. It's like a manor, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a manor, but a castle. It's a castle-esque manor.
It's the court of spring. Like, it is the most
spring
pink
court
and purple princess dream girl palace situation that she gets dropped into.
Yes, and is furious about being dropped into. She's not happy, and he's basically like, your life debt is owed to me. You're my slave, but you are free to go anywhere in Perinthia, essentially. Like, I won't keep you as a slave because fairies used to keep human slaves. But like, you do have to stay here. And there's him, and then he's got his buddy Lucian, and they all have masks on because they have been cursed that this mask that they were wearing can never be removed. Because they were basically, when this curse happened, they were at a party, a masquerade, and the curse landed, and they all got stuck wearing the mask they were originally wearing. So he's wearing a golden mask, and I don't think it's an animal. I think it's just like a golden ornate mask.
Yeah, it's just an ornate mask.
Yeah, and Lucian is wearing a fox mask.
I was going to say, he's got the animal one. Yeah,
he's a fox. And there's that, and like a couple people working around the house, but just very few. And she's in this world now, and they're kind of like, they're talking to her, trying to engage. It's very Beast, Beauty and the Beast. Like, he's like huffing and gruffing, and she's like, I'm your slave. He's like, no, it's like, you can go anywhere but the West Manor. It's kind of like, it's very much that.
Totally.
Like the West Wing or whatever it is in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And then over time, their relationship starts to build. Tamlin is doing sweet things. He brings her to this like grove, this glen that has starlight pond that she gets to go swimming in. And apparently it's just the best feeling in the world. Perfect temperature swimming. She starts to trust him. Lucian sends her on this little quest to find a Suriel, which is it Suriel? Suriel?
I always read it as surreal.
Suriel. Okay, to find the Suriel. And if you snare a Suriel, they will answer your questions. And what she wants to know is like how she can get home, or how, like, is she ever going to be able, is there any loophole she doesn't know of to break this life debt owed? That's what she's looking for.
Yeah.
So she goes out, he tells her, bring some chickens, do a snare, and you'll catch a Suriel and let it go. She goes, captures him. He is like, I can't believe a human caught me. And basically tells her, there's nothing you can do. You can never return. Stay with the High Lord and all will be well. That's what he tells her. Stay with the High Lord, all will be well, and stop trying to like fix this or do something human. And then these Nagas come out, and she chooses to free the Suriel first before attacking them, like as an act of kindness, shoots him down so he can run away. And then fights Naga, but Tamlin shows up in his beast form, kills them, saves her. They go back to the castle. And that's when they really start, like, the relationship starts building that little bit more.
Yeah.
And she's starting to trust him. There's someone comes and he's like, hide in the bushes. And she hides in the bushes and they're talking to this invisible thing, but she can like hear his voice and everything about it sounds like death and awful and going. And when he leaves, she's like, who is that? They're like the ACOTAR, and they keep talking about a blight and the blight is coming and she will be mad to hear about this and she'll be angry. And she doesn't know who she is. She's trying to figure out what the blight is. She's trying to figure out who this she is. And then they had the night of the calamari. And they keep telling her, he's like, you have to stay in your room. It's a big festival. It renews our magic in our gardens. I'm forgetting the word. What's the word for everything you grow? You're like agriculture.
Their harvest? Like
I guess so. Essentially, this is a celebration, the new year, and they do the great rite in the calamari, and that's what causes their harvest season to be successful, and they have to do it every year.
Yeah.
So she's in there. They're drumming. She's like, oh, these drums. She goes to the door, and then Tamlin comes down the stairs. He's shirtless, like looking gorgeous, painted up for it. He's having a hard time controlling. He's like, you have to stay in your room. You cannot come out to this. Right. And she's like, why? He's like, you just can't. And he won't tell her what it is. And he's like, just stay in your room. Of course, he takes off and he's like shaking and can barely control himself around her. She doesn't listen. She goes to the party. She gets caught by 3 fairies that are like, a human on calamari. What a nice reward for us. Ooh, we're so lucky. And she's like basically about to be raped and is like, get away from me. And then this guy shows up and is like, oh, it's you. I've been looking for you. And she says it's the most gorgeous man she has ever seen with violet eyes and dark hair. And he saves her from the 3 fae. They just see him and they run away. She's like, oh, that's a crazy reaction. Who's this guy? He doesn't tell her who he is. He asks what she's doing there. She doesn't say. She's like, I have 2 friends that I'm here with. They brought me. And he's like, go back to whoever you came. Like, be safe. Don't talk to him, or it's not safe for you. She's like, okay. Leaves and runs into Lucian, who is like, what are you doing here? Basically grabs her, throws her over his shoulders, runs her back to the palace, and is like, stay here. He's like, he's going to smell you and be so mad. And like, you need to stay here. And she's like, why? What is happening? Someone just give me some context, please. Maybe then I would listen, which I kind of agree with. So if someone had this crazy party with drums and they're just going and no one's told me anything other than I can't go, you better believe
You're gonna
I'm
sneak
going
up and check out what's going on.
100%.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, oh, okay, we have to perform the Great Rite, which is basically as the High Lord, he needs to go find a maiden. All those women you saw down there are going to line up in a cave after he kills a white stag, and he will pick one of them to mate with to perform the rite. And he's like, and it's not going to be gentle. So you don't want it to be you, which obviously just makes her go like, oh, you think I don't want it to be me. And she's like a little bit shocked, a little bit turned on, and like, oh my God. And he's like, now I have to go because he's going to smell you and not be able to find you, and I have to try to control him. Yeah. And she's like, fine. And he's like, stay in your room until the morning. She goes to her room. He leaves. She sets up a snare, goes to bed, but she wakes up at like 2 a.m. The drums have stopped, and she's like, can't sleep. So she decides to go get a snack, takes apart her snare, leaves, gets a snack, comes back. Tamlin finds her, crowds her against the wall, and is like, you should have been in your room. It's like, I wanted food. Don't tell me what to do. And he's like, I could smell you and you weren't there. Do you know how crazy I went? It made me choose someone else, like it as the great, right?
Yeah.
And she's like breathing hard and he's doing, and she's like, you can't, he said, I told you to stay in your room. She's like, you can't tell me what to do. And he just bites her. He full on just like bites her neck to keep her in place like an animal to stop her from moving. And she gets super turned on by it. And they're breathing. And then he pulls back and then she slaps him. And it says again, like, you can't tell me what to do. I was coming from my room. And that like kind of like gets him back. And he's like, go to your room. Don't come back out. And then she gets turned on more by that and he can smell it, which I love the way Faye can always smell them being turned on. It's always so great. Yeah. And stalks off. So now they've had this weird, like, he bites her. She goes back to her room. The next morning, she's got a big bruise on her neck. And Lucien is like, where'd that bruise come from? And she's like, ask him. He's like, I told her to stay in her room. She didn't listen, so I bit her. Like, yeah, that's like, that's the start of them. And then a couple nights later, they have another party that's like the start of spring, the start of everything. And at that party, she's dancing. She has fairy wine. And again, Lucien's like, don't drink the wine. Don't drink the wine. You will regret it. And she's like, I don't care. Then she drinks the wine, dances. Tamlin takes her dancing, and then he takes her to watch the Light of the Mists, Spirit of the Mists. The Swires, they come, they dance, and they're like ethereal, so they dance together, and they end up finally kissing. Finally have this amazing kissing, the sun coming up, like, finally. And she realizes she's like, trusts him and feels strong feelings for him, and they're all like happy the next morning. Once again, Lucien like calls it out, like, hey, you guys came in late. Yeah. And she can tell Tamlin's kind of like, oh, is she gonna be like upset that we kissed? Does she care? And then she looks at him and is like, well, after you biting me in the neck, a few kisses means nothing. He's like, oh, it means nothing? She's like, nothing. And Lucien's like, oh, spare me, please. Like, you guys. And then right when they're joking about it, all of a sudden this presence comes into the room and they grab Feyre, throw her behind the curtains, and they like, don't move. And this guy comes in, she doesn't know who it is, and they say his name is Rieslin, and he's there checking in. He's like, Amrenth wanted me to check on you, see how things are going. And it's clear he has more power than the other two, and they call him Amrenth's whore, and like, you're disgusting, get out of here. And he's like, well, we haven't seen you in 50 years. Like, we're checking how things are going, like kind of hinting at things that are coming. And he's about to leave, and he notices there's 3 settings, and then he realizes they glamored someone. And so he is able to break the glamour, sees Feyre, and is like, how dare you glamour me to them? And he's like, it's you. And we find out he's the guy that was at the Night of Calamari. Like, it was him that was at the party. He is like, oh, too bad. He goes into her mind, can see that she's like, you know, tells Tamlin how bad she wants to have sex with him, how much she wants to feel like his fingers between her thighs, like reads all of her dirty thoughts, calls them all out. In the middle of like being terrified to death, she's also like super embarrassed at the same time. And then he's basically like, okay, well, maybe I'll tell her about you, maybe I won't. Beg. And the 2 guys have to beg like on the ground, faces on the ground, to not tell. And he's like, well, see, tell me your name. And she makes up the name of a neighbor because she doesn't want to tell him her real name. He leaves, and Tamlin's like, okay, that's it, we have to send you back home, you can't stay. Like, it's too dangerous. She's still, it's too dangerous, the blight's coming, I can't protect you anymore, you have to go. And she's like, no, I don't want to go, I want to stay, like, this is now my home, this is where I belong, and the happiest I've ever been, like, let me stay. He's like, we can't, because
she's falling for Tamlin.
She's
now
falling for him hard, like, and finally feels, and like, because again, I was doing an overview that I've just gone into detail at random points, but she was really like fighting being here. Obviously, it was against her will. She was taken as a life debt. Like, she did not want to be here, and finally she's kind of been won over by it all, and is like loving being there, wants to be with Tamlin, wants to be part of this kingdom. And so he's like, no, you have to go. So that night, finally that night, we get all the steamy sex.
And you guys, I mean, as somebody again
to get here, this is where we're at.
I think we can pause there and like talk about that
part. I'm just trying to get to that.
Great. I love it. Because, you know, so 2 things. One, when everyone was like, this is what it's like, this is how, you know, oh, it's so spicy and it's so crazy. And I'm reading this book and I'm like, nothing is happening. And I thought at one point, like, I thought early on with Lucian and Tamlin, and they're at the table, and there's all this tension, and the guys have masks on, and there's these secrets, and I'm like, oh, these two guys are about to take her down, and she's gonna love it,
Right?
and it's gonna be so fun. Like, I thought this is gonna happen. Nope, that certainly doesn't happen.
No, there is no three-way with Tamlin and Lucian.
No,
I wish
and
there
I
was,
mean,
but
right? I was hoping for it. I was like, this is what I'm here for. And then it doesn't happen. And then there's just all of this tension, and he never tells her anything. And like, of what's going on. So she just keeps sneaking out, you know, and all these things and showing up places. And then he bites her, and I'm like, here we go. Now we're going to get more. Nope, nothing.
no.
And it took so long to get to the heat. Now, again,
Yeah.
this was like, I hadn't really been into romance or romantasy things at this point. So this is
Yes.
what we would call a slow burn. We have a world building situation going on and a slow burn going on. And so my mom is just, I think she's reading this book now on vacation.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm about to start it. She's like, oh, does it get spicy fast? Like, when does it, whatever? And she's like, all excited. I was like, okay, stick with it. But it does
Yes.
not get spicy until at least halfway through. And she's like, oh, really? I was like, I know,
Like
but just
300
trust me.
pages or something. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's further than halfway. But I'm like, just
Yeah.
trust me. Don't give up on it. And so she's like, okay. I can't wait to hear what she thinks. Anyways, and so Lucian and Tamlin thing doesn't happen. It never happens. That was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
And then it was so interesting when she goes out to that calamari like spring right thing that he tells her
Yes.
not to go to, and she goes anyways. And at this point, she's been out in the Fey world because she already was with the Surreal,
Yes.
and it's dangerous out there, you know, like it's
Yeah.
dangerous for a human body in the Fey world. Like any little scrape, any little thing, like everything can kill you out
Yes.
there. You know, like these beings are somewhat immortal, so everything is around them is stronger. So I was like, wow, she is brave to go out there. Like, I'd be so curious, but also I don't think I would have gone all the way into the party the way she did, because it just felt like
She went on a horse, so at least she felt protected. But
she could get
the part
away.
the part I forgot, when they go to that like starlight, like when they finally kiss, he
Yeah.
removes the glamour he had on her, and so she didn't realize there had been tons of like workers and people at the
That's
castle,
right.
and how everyone really looked, because he had made everyone look almost human for her, and hid anyone but the necessary. So all of a sudden she comes downstairs, she's like, "Who are you? Who is this for? Why is the place full of fae that weren't here before?"
Yes.
Doing like, you know, mediocre jobs. And he's like, well, we just didn't want you to be scared, and we hid everyone until you were ready. And that's like
and
kind
also
of
made everyone
that
look the
she's
same.
like, they made everyone look the same, but it's kind of the sign of like she's comfortable here now. She's starting to become more accustomed. And then calamari happens after that, so now she can see everyone. And they even say it's a night that people are allowed to cross boundaries. So in this world, whatever court you're from, like you stay in that court, you don't cross into the other courts. But on calamari night, people from the other courts are allowed to come in and participate in the Great Rite. It's basically a big sex orgy party.
It's basically a big sex orgy.
I really hoped, I had wanted him to find her that night. I really wanted that to be the
same.
The spice.
So when she bumps into those other Fae guys who are like, ooh, and you can tell they're stalking her, like they're totally gonna rape her.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh no. And then when this guy comes in and stops it, and I was like, here's Tamlin, here we go. And it's not, it's some other guy, but who's like gorgeous. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. And then that guy is like, just like, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she bumps into Lucian, and it's like, oh, someone's gonna go down with Lucian. Nope. He just takes her out of there.
Just super fast. Like, nope.
It was one of those moments where you're like, no one is ever going to have sex in this book. Like,
yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And then Tamlin comes back, and now it's like, oh, he's not going to get a hold of himself. And then he just bites her, which is like so hot because you just want something. You want anything.
Yes. Oh, and he says, he's like, she didn't want me to be, it made me pick someone else. She didn't want me to be gentle with her, but I would have been gentle with you. And then and then bites her. Like, it's.
I mean, but also like, thank goodness, because then it probably would have been really weird, because I think just for the great rate, it sounds like maybe there's just like sex and there's like other people around and everything. Like it's not like a
No,
private
they go
moment.
into the cave. Like, people know, though. They're watching you go in, and then
Yeah.
I think they go in alone and then
Okay.
perform whatever rite it is, but they're not of their own mind. Like, he's taken over. He
Yeah.
lets this magic come into his body that makes him seek out whoever the right person will be and then
Mhm.
have the act, and then it causes bountiful harvest, basically. The magic
Yes.
goes into the ground and
Yeah.
makes the kingdom plentiful. But I don't
Yeah.
think the actual act is watched by other people.
Okay.
But
I
regardless,
couldn't.
they don't he doesn't pick her. Would have been hot, but I'm glad he didn't, because then when we actually get the spice in this book, like, they actually, honestly, if you didn't know where the rest of the series went, she did build their relationship really well, the slow burn. Like,
Yes.
you were, at this point, 100% Team Tamlin and Vera. You were,
Totally.
like, in it and with them and want this.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
And
when I
I
heard
mean, that
what
is
happened
so
later, I was
necessary.
like, "No, I'm never gonna get on board with that." Like,
Yeah.
when I knew when someone told me, like, the spoiler of what was coming, I was like,
Mhm.
"No, I'll be Team
Oh my
Tamlin
gosh.
all
I'm
the way."
so glad I didn't know the spoiler, and we're not gonna give it now, but because I think it's like so key as we go on. But so yeah, so now we're in love with Tamlin at this point.
Yes.
Like we are all in.
And
We don't
he's
ever want her to
sacrificing
go back
her.
to the
He's
human world.
sacrificing her to go back, breaking his own heart. He tells her he loves her. And he's sending her
Oh,
home.
it's
And
crushing. I'm like,
it's
don't
so
send her
heartbreaking.
home.
He's so
And the
sad.
serial said, stay with the High Lord, right? So you're
Yes.
screaming at the book.
Yeah, you're like, why are you leaving? And she almost says it back and doesn't and chokes on it. And Lucian's even pissed. He's like, you can't give her a couple more days. And like, Tamlin's just shutting it down. He's like, nope, has to be now, has to be now. And you can tell Lucian's not happy
Yeah.
about it. And there are a few people are kind of saying odd comments to her. And so she gets in this carriage. She sends her like amazing sex that they just like keep coming,
Oh,
fall asleep, have sex again, keep going.
mhm.
Like everything
It's
she wanted,
amazing. It
falling
really is
apart.
a nice payoff. You're like, yes.
Yes. Yes. Well written, smutty scenes for it.
Yeah.
And then she goes home, and her sisters are now in this humongous house. Basically,
Mhm.
Tamlin set it up and glamored them so that they got their wealth back. And they
Yeah.
think she went to live with an aunt to take care of her who was dying. And
Yeah.
that the dad's ships were found and all their money came back to them. Basically,
Yeah.
that's like the
Yeah.
story that they now believe. So she comes back to them being wealthy and living their life and like thinking Vera was just off with an aunt. And she doesn't
Yeah.
quite know how to like align herself with that. But then she realizes her mistake, that she's come home. Her other
Mhm.
sister, Nesta,
Mhm.
like Elaine is fully in it. Elaine's gotten engaged. She's like with these other
Ugh.
people. She's with an anti-fairy. So like humans, there's like a league of them that like want to kill all the fairies and wish that they didn't exist and think
Yeah.
iron kills fairies. Like all the humans think iron hurts fairies and that fairies can't lie. And neither of these things are true,
Yeah.
but they think it.
Yeah.
And Nesta finally confesses to her, like, I remember what happened to you. Like they
Mhm.
glamored us, but it didn't take. I
Yeah.
know that guy came and took
Well, it didn't
you
take
and
on
did it.
Nesta.
On
Totally took on
Nesta
Elaine. Yeah.
and her dad. But
Mhm.
she didn't fall for it. So she is playing along, but knows, and she knows Feyre wants to go back. Feyre confesses she wants to go back, and she helps her do it. She's like, well, I have to.
Yeah.
Like, the war is coming. It's going to kill everyone here, too. Like, I have to go back.
Yeah.
We're not safe, basically.
Yeah.
And she wants to go save Tamlin. So she finds the rift in the wall
The
that
wall.
essentially separates the worlds and goes back to find an empty spring court. The
Yeah.
court is empty. The only person still there is Alice?
Alis.
Alis.
Yeah. Who is
was
a lower Fae. So
a lower
Alis
fae.
is what, like when the glamour came off and she realized Alis, who was basically like her handmaiden, almost had like tree bark kind of like skin,
Yes.
right? And was
Yeah.
like looked a little bit differently and
Because
everything.
she's
And that
actually
was
from the summer court.
yeah.
Yeah.
And is also not a high Fae.
Not
So
a high
she
fae.
is
Yeah.
sort of a different, I mean, she's still the fairy species, but I don't know. There's like so many layers. They're
Yeah,
not
they had
human.
made her look rounder and plumper, more human-like when
Yeah.
the glamour was on, and then when it was revealed, she was more like sunken in. She had the mask on still and was still fae, but obviously not high fae. She didn't have that
Yeah.
glow that high faes have. So
Yeah.
she's still there and tells her basically that the curse was that everyone in the Spring Kingdom would be forced to wear these masks, and they had 50 years for someone to fall in love with Tamlin. They'd have to send out, someone would have to kill one of the fae, one of the guards, bring her back as like a life debt, and they would have to fall. Very much Beauty and the Beast, like someone
Very
to fall
much
in love with the
Beauty.
beast stuck in the mask.
Yeah.
And that the 50 years is almost up, and Amaranth came when she left. She came back to like collect them all and force them
Yeah.
to go underground. She let them stay in the spring court for 50 years. That
Yes.
was like the agreement. You can stay in your court for 50 years. When the 50 years is up, if no one has fallen in love with you, you have to come live in the underground city, which is like the world Amaranth has made. Because she came, sorry, there is a lot of world building, but there's a King
Yeah.
Hybrid that lives in
Yeah.
another world, and he's planning to take over this world of the courts, of the high courts.
Mhm.
And he sent Amaranth, and she started the takeover 50 years ago. So 50
Yeah.
years ago, this curse came from her that cursed
Yeah.
all the courts. People that
Mhm.
were, she was having like a party. The people at the party got stuck there, and the people in the
Yeah.
other courts had other things happen to them. And basically, Tamlin's thing was they all have to wear the mask, and they have 50 years to make someone fall in love with them. That was the like deal she made. And if it doesn't happen, he has to be her slave for life. Like Mary, she
Yeah.
loves Tamlin and
And
wants to
it's
like be with him.
so crazy because right as Tamlin was sending Feyre away, she was like basically bit her tongue from saying I love you to Tamlin.
I know, which part of me is like, I feel like the only thing with the curse, like, she did feel it. So, like, part of me is
Yeah.
like, the curse really should have been broken anyways because the
It had to be
feeling was
said.
there. But the fact that it has to be
Yeah.
said, it's always those Fey loopholes.
Yes.
So yes, it had to be said. And I don't think she's told that part, right? Because she can't.
She can't be told that. Yeah, no, she's not told that
she's
part
not
at this point.
told
She
even at
doesn't
this point.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
No.
but the curse had to be broken, and now they're under the mountain. And so she's
Mhm.
determined, like, I'm going to find my way under the mountain to go save them. And
Yeah.
Alis is one, like, you can't, like, she's there because she's collecting her stuff. She was going to escape to the Summer Kingdom because the Summer Kingdom has also mostly been left alone. Like, the
Yeah.
former high court of the Summer Kingdom was killed at this party.
Mhm.
It was stuck there, and, like, the other people are still in Summer. So she's on her way to go there. So she tells Vera how to get there using underground tunnels. Warns
Mhm.
her way, but she's like, you're going to go no matter what. So she kind of just gives her a little advice and tells her how to find her way to the
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah.
There it goes. Somehow finds her way. Crazy.
Yeah.
She obviously gets captured as soon as she's there.
I mean, there's no way for her not to be. Like, she has
No.
walked into the hornet's nest. Like, she's in the belly of the beast. You're
Yes.
You're
she's
gonna
in
get
the belly of the beast. And
And very much so.
thrilled by this. And brings her to the front and center when she gets caught by the Ators, I think, catch her in the
Yeah.
cave.
Yeah.
And right beside her is Tamlin with the mask on, stuck to sit right beside, because like Amon's design is eventually to make Tamlin basically her like husband or mate. Like she wants him
Yeah.
to be her partner. That's like the agreement they made if he failed in the 50 years.
Yeah.
Reese is also there because Reese is her, or he's been forced to basically service her for the
Mhm.
50 years that everyone's been underground.
Mhm.
And on the
Lucian's
wall
there.
behind her, Lucian's there, everyone's there. On the wall behind her is the body of her neighbor, the name that she gave when Reese asked, what's your name? So he
Yeah.
clearly gave that name to Amaranth. Didn't think it was going to be a real person.
No.
And they went, and she did find out when she was with her sisters that that girl had been kidnapped and the house had been burned down.
Yes.
She did find that out before getting into this cave. I
She
just
did.
remembered now.
And then
she's
she
there.
sees her like pinned to the wall. Now we're under the mountain and things get way darker, Court, than
Way
I
darker. We
ever
are
thought.
no longer in a romance. We are now fully in a dark fantasy. Once you're under the mountain.
It's so violent once you're under the mountain.
Violent. Yes. Yes.
Like next level. I did not see any of that coming. I was
No.
like, whoa.
Yes. It changed.
Like-
Like Amaranth. Okay, so Amaranth makes her deal because for some reason she likes to make deals. That if she's
playing with her food.
She's
It's
playing
fun.
with her food.
It's
She doesn't
too
expect her to be able
boring
to
to
do
just kill everyone. Yeah.
So she's like, if you can pass my 3 tasks, then I'll let you go. The curse, then I will break the curse, is what she
Yeah.
agrees to. Or you can answer this riddle, and if you get it right, the curse will instantly break. And if you get it wrong, everyone will die, or something like that. Like, it's very high risk. I can't remember.
Very high stakes.
Basically, she agrees that she will do the 3 tasks.
Yeah.
So, her very first one, she gets thrown into this pit, and it's some kind of huge, blind earthworm with gnarly teeth, just isn't chasing her. And she realizes she's in the holes of this earthworm, and everyone's up above watching her, trying to escape this guy, tunneling through, doesn't know what to do. She ends up landing in its like pit where all these bones from its meals and things are, and she ends up coming up with a trap basically to snare it, breaks the bones on her legs, sets it all up, all these spikes, goes up there, chases it, the thing falls in, lands on all the bones she set up, dies. She beats it. No one expected it. They're all shocked. And she like takes one of the bones and whips it up at Amaranth. They cover her in the mud and guts because she's covered in poo and gross and like
Yeah.
disgusting blood, everything. And so she's won it. Everyone's a little impressed, and they throw her back into her cage. Basically,
Mhm.
thing one done. Tamlin's up there. Like, she doesn't get to talk to Tamlin. She doesn't get to see him.
No.
Like, he makes no reaction about her at all because he doesn't want
Yeah.
her Amaranth to know who she really is.
Yeah.
Even though she knows, but he doesn't pretend to care. He pretends he does not care, is not bothered. She's super injured. The first time, is it Lucian that comes to help her, or is it always Rhys that comes to
Yes.
help her?
I feel like the first time it's always Rhys who helps her in some way. Lucian comes to help her. Rhys sends a song.
Yeah, well, Rhys makes that bond with her at one point. So Lucian comes the first night, tries to help her get cleaned up as best he can without being noticed. Like, comes to visit her. They kind of check in, like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't have come. Shouldn't have this. Like, I'll try to help you. I'll do my best. He's gone. But then she's like slowly kind of dying because she's got all these
Yeah,
cuts
it's
and
too
bruises
many
and not clean.
injuries.
It's
Yeah.
too many injuries. And he doesn't want to fix her too much because he doesn't want it to become obvious. So then Rhys visits her
Yes.
and is like the high court of the night kingdom. And he's the guy that was at the house and the guy that she met on Kalmar. And he's like, I will
He's
make
like
a
a
deal with you.
dark, dangerous creature. Like,
Dark, dangerous.
like
Tamlin and Lucian have made, like, the Night Court are the worst of the worst. They kill for
Yeah.
fun. They're horrible people. They do nothing but for their own gain. Like, they are the
well, and
worst. So,
they call it the Court of Nightmares. So
Court of Nightmares, yes. And so she
yeah.
fears him, but he's like, I will make a bond with you that if you basically, I will heal you and let you live, but you have to agree basically to be my slave under here. And that when we get out of here, if you survive this, you have to come. First, he says every 2 weeks, you have to come to my court
Mhm.
every 2 weeks, my call. And she makes it once a month. Once a month,
Yeah.
for as long as she has to go and spend a week with him.
Mhm.
She agrees to it because otherwise she's going to die. And she gets a tattoo that covers her hand all the way up her arm as soon as she agrees
Yeah.
to it. And that's their bond,
The
essentially.
bond. Yeah.
The bond. And she gets given these tasks of like impossible things that she has to do while she's waiting in her cell for her next
Oh yeah,
project.
like scrubbing the floors totally
Yeah.
clean in like a dirt tunnel. Like,
Yeah.
like or
So
in the hallway, but it's like it would never be possible to
with
do
a
without
muddy
that.
bucket. Yes.
Yeah.
So this, after her second battle, is something with Lucy, and the two of them are in like these levers, like almost elevators, platforms,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the thing's caging, and she has to read these 3 switches to decide the right ones to do. And
Yeah.
she can't actually read. But
No.
as she's like she figures out the first one, I can't remember how, so there's like a clue she figures out, and then she can't read the second one. But when she goes to grab one, the hands like burns her and heat
Yeah.
up. And so she gets it as a signal for me. He's like, that's the wrong one. She picks the right one.
Yeah.
Basically saves the two of them. They get out. She solves it. She saves her and Lucian.
And though
Lucian's
this is our
mother-
discovery that she can't read. We're like, even
No,
as
we
the
already
reader.
no, it's not.
No?
No. When she's at the court, she has all these books from Tamlin and she can't read them. She's trying to learn
Oh,
words.
that's
And then
right.
he
That's
takes her
right.
words and makes it into limericks, dirty
Yeah.
limericks. And that was part of their like bonding.
Yeah.
But this is Rhys's discovery that she can't read.
Yes.
So then she's given the task to clean the floor, but she's given a dirty mop bucket and a dirty sponge. They're like, you have to clean it. But basically she's just moving dirt around. She's like, I'll never be able to do this. And they're like, if you don't do these tasks, like, you will die. Sends her to do it. And then Lucian's mother comes down and thanks her for saving her son, because she saves Lucian by completing that task, and basically does the cleaning for her so that she's able to do it. Saves her, because otherwise she would have been killed. As like a one-time thank you for saving her son. Then Rhys, between that and her third task, like starts to come to visit her every night. He brings these 2 like Lilith kind of creatures that can pass through walls, and they're not really like people,
wraith
they're
types.
twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they paint her body from head to toe and dress her like covered in paint, and then this little bit of like drabs of fabric over her breasts and vagina, and bring
But,
her up
like,
to party every night.
essentially naked. Oh yeah, and bring her up to party every night, and like he feeds her the fairy wine, and so she's just kind of like writhing around.
Yeah, not feeling anything, and never remembers it the next day. Like, he just
And
brings
it's
her up
like
every night, displays her.
very sexual and sexualized, and she's on display, and it's like
On display, and he's doing it to get under Tamlin's skin, and Tamlin's always
Yeah.
sitting up there with Amaranth and can't respond. And he does this over and over. every night between that and her last task.
Mhm.
And then finally, for the last task, he brings her up. And one time, Tamlin does appear beside her, like in this little cove. He manages to get away to be
Yeah.
beside her. Finally, for a second. And he grabs her and kisses her. And they almost start
Yeah.
basically having sex against that wall. And then Rhys catches them. And out of
Mhm.
anger, and because he has to be able to like disguise the paint that's marred on her, which is why he painted her.
Smudged.
So if anyone touches her, he'll know. So
Yeah.
then he kisses her like violently so that Amaranth
Mhm.
will see that and think it's him that smudged the paint and did it.
Yeah. And he
Out of
basically
anger.
said, doesn't he say to Tamlin at that point, he's like, or something, he's like, you've put her in danger now? Because, like, if
Yes.
Amaranth then knows how much Feyre means to Tamlin, then we're in big trouble. Like,
Yes, even more so. Yeah, he's
Mhm.
pissed at Tamlin for basically using this moment not to get her out, but to like kiss her. And that's actually like
Yeah.
he wasted an opportunity, essentially. So he kisses her to claim her again. And then Amaranth comes up with a third task finally for her. And this is like we're
Mhm.
getting near the end of the book. She has to kill 3 people. That's what
Yeah.
so I think she goes back to her cell that night. She's lonely. She's been having a hard time. She hears faint music through her cell that like keeps her company,
Yeah.
keeps her going.
Keeps her going.
Yeah. And so again, Amethyst is like, you have to do this. So she has to kill just 2 innocent Fae, which she very much does not like to kill people, innocent
Mm-mm.
people. She chooses kindness. Like she is a good person that way. Like she really,
Yeah.
this is so hard for her. She kills one person who is begging not to be killed, obviously, because they don't want to die, even though it's break the curse.
Yeah.
She manages to kill the second person, and then she's like, I'm not going to do this. No, out to third. Like she was about to turn the knife on herself.
Yeah.
The mask is pulled off, and it's Tamlin. And that's who she's going to have to kill in order to complete the test. But what she
Yeah.
doesn't know at first, because obviously she's like, I'm not going to do this. But even before it was Tamlin, she's like, I'm not going to kill another person. Like she was about to turn the knife and just kill herself. Then she
Mhm.
remembers hearing little things about Tamlin having a heart of stone. It's something
Yeah.
that was said throughout the book, something mentioned about the heart of stone. And she like looks him in the eye and then is like, oh, and like he gives her a signal, like, you can do this.
Mhm.
So she stabs him because she realizes he
Yeah.
has a heart, literally has a heart of stone, which whatever that
Yeah.
means, but he does. And so it doesn't kill him. Like she stabs him, he does
Yeah.
it. And then nothing happens. She turns to Amaranth like, you said you were going to break the curse. And she's
Yes.
like, I did, and I will. I didn't say when.
Yeah.
And she's like, so maybe I'll like keep them for another 50 years. Like some point I'll get bored, but basically it's not. Farah missed that loophole when she had said it. So
Mhm.
then Farah is thinking, and as Amaranth jumps to try to like kill her, she remembers, she's like trying to kill Farah, and she realizes the answer to the riddle that'll instantly get rid of the curse, which is
Yeah.
love. Love is the answer. Love is the thing that you can't be destroyed, or blah, 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 blah. I can't remember the whole thing, but it's
Riddle.
love.
Yeah.
And as she says it, and Amaranth shrieks and kills her, but
Mhm.
everyone gets released from their curse.
Yeah.
And Farah is dead. She can like see herself over the body, kind of starting to float away, but she's got this tether. Something she looks down is pulling her towards back to Tamlin, and Rhys is there and others around her body, and she can feel this tether pulling her back. And so she
Mhm.
decides to follow the tether. And while that's happening, Tamlin is begging all of the high lords of the different courts to please give a drop of their magic that'll bring her back to life. And they all
Yeah.
agree because she did literally just save
Save
all of them. All of them
Yeah.
are now freed from this curse. They've all equally been under for the last 50
Yeah.
years. So they all come up and for her sacrifice, give her a drop of their magic, give her a drop of their magic. Winter, spring, summer, fall, autumn,
Mhm.
and of course, Tamlin, and night and day.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
7 courts,
All of
right?
it. Yeah.
So they do, and she comes back to life, and she's now Fae.
Fae.
Okay, we're just getting to the end of this book, but this is all happening. Now she's back to life. Fae. Tamlin's crying. Rhys there. Like as soon as she had died, Rhys attacked Amaranth and Gilder. Tamlin's just there crying.
Yeah.
They're back. Like she survives. She wakes up the next day in her room and Sal, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go back to life. She feels some kind of tug on the bond, and she knows it's Rhys, so she
Mhm.
goes to see him to say goodbye and like
Mhm.
thank him. And he tried. He's like, I'm glad you made it through. They kind of have a little chat, and he's like, maybe I'll see you one day. And because of the bond, she's like, are you truly gonna
Yeah.
make me like stick to the bond? And he's like, well, we made a bond.
Yeah.
Like
He's
kind of
like,
leaving it up in the
yeah.
air. We'll see. And then something happens. They laugh right before he disappears, and she sees this look of shock on his face. And he says, it's you. and then gone.
Yeah.
That's it. And then she and Tamlin and Lucien are going back to their palace, to Springcourt.
Yeah.
To go live out
Yeah.
their lives, get engaged, and get married. Is
Happily
basically
ever after.
happily ever after. After this, like, and I'm rushing through it, like, the last 100 pages is all the stuff under the mountain, and it's insane and amazing and the
Chaos.
best part of the book, and total chaos. And she's a badass, and that's where you start to get some respect for Feyre, because I know quite a few. I had it all along, but there are quite a few people that, like, didn't love Feyre in the first book. They're like, I'm not crazy about her as a female main character. They didn't feel she was strong enough. Or that she had enough of her own ideas. I actually agree. I didn't find it, but people that did, I'm like, just wait. And when you get into the further books, you'll find that anyways. But I do know there are people that had that kind of opinion in the first book because she's so satisfied with kind of being kept with just painting and in that way, which I see. But also, like, after the life she came from, let a lady enjoy a few weeks of just eating and fucking painting. Like,
she was like starving in a hovel.
Yes, and having someone love her and care about her, like, who never got attention from her father and never got from their mother. Like, let her live in this, enjoy it for a moment before like needing to be the next thing. And anyways, and then when she was in the place, like, as soon as she went under the mountain, she was an all-star. Like, she kicked ass.
And well, like we said when we started talking about this, you know, at the beginning of the book, you're kind of like, okay, I don't know. You're not attached yet, like any book, right? And all that stuff. And you're just kind of like, okay, I don't know. And it does sort of seem a little annoying. And then, like, the sisters are so brutal and everything. And it's all good. And then she goes off. And and you're kind of like, I don't know about this gal. But then as it goes along and you go on the journey with her and she has her, you know, her growth that she goes through. I think it was when she made her way back after Tamlin sent her away. And then she went to go to Under the Mountain. That's when I was like, okay, yes, like, she's, you know, she's getting some fight in her, some gumption.
But even she was that at the beginning. Like, yes, she didn't stand up. Sure,
was.
she didn't stand up to her sisters, but she did figure out how to go hunt and, like, provide for her family. But I guess she was a bit of a doormat in terms of, like, letting them walk all over her and never calling them out. And like even the little she made, they'd be like, I'm gonna go spend this on boots. Like, she very much did not stand up for herself or say anything to the people that were walking all over her. So that was true. But we see that start to come out with the guys. Like, she starts to talk back to Tamlin, or no, to Lucien. Like, they start having that kind of rapport and that friendship. So I think I see it, but I was fine with it. Like, it never bothered me.
No,
I got a little stuck in the Beauty and the Beast of it. Like, that's what, when I first read it, that's what irritated me slightly. Which most of her series are start as some kind of inspiration from Disney, but she very much takes it away from that, and it's its own thing and becomes the ACOTAR lore that we all know. But this is very much Beauty and the Beast until the last 100 pages, and then it's this whole other adventure. Like, buckle up, and now we're here.
And Beauty and the Beast isn't originally Disney. I mean, it's originally a fairy tale, you know, which works. But it was very heavy-handed. For the beginning of it, for sure. And then it takes a turn, you know, that you just don't see coming. That's really exciting.
Like, hold on, get through that. We know that. The author knows that. She's not pretending that it's not, because where it goes to is totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yes.
Which we will be talking about next.
Yeah,
next episode.
We'll keep going.
We're going to talk about where this goes. That was I mean, hats off, Court. That was a very good...
It's all downhill. I was like, Cait, we have to do one episode about each book because they're so big.
They are so big, and so much happens. And especially, I mean, ACOTAR the first one sets up so much.
Yes.
To then go into right away, like in one episode, what's next? You just lose it. Like, it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, you need to live in this world. And if you haven't now, go read it. Come back.
Yes.
And then watch the next. Come along with us. Read along. Go take this and take each episode. It's so fun. I love this series so much. It has a special place. I'm proud to say I like ACOTAR. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people hide away, guilty pleasure. I'm like, no, it's just a pleasure. There's no guilt associated. Just a pleasure. I'm all in.
Why would there be? Also, like, bonus, it's on banned books lists and everything like that. So
I know. I love that it's a banned book. I don't understand why it's a banned book, but So is like the summer I turned pretty. Like it's really weird. I don't know what
Best
details,
press a book can get.
right? Read the banned books.
Read the banned books. On that note, we're going to
Yes.
say goodbye for today's episode.
Bye.
We will be back with the next book in the
Yes.
ACOTAR series, A Court of Mist and Fury. So be ready.
Be ready. Here we go.
A lot more happens.
I certainly hope so. There's 5 books.
Right? All right. That's it for today's episode of Cait and Court's Cozy Corner. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Hey, bye.
Settle in and grab a book, a comfy chair, your favorite nook with Cait and Court. Yeah, it's the Cozy Corner.
Thanks for tuning in to Cait and Court's Cozy Corner Romance Readers.
Executive producers and hosts, Caitlin Stryker and Courtney Richter. Producer, Kanesha No. Original music, Cassie DeSilva.